Okay. Okay, let's start today's class. And before that, Shushavan, did you are you logging in by using your laptop?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. I'm just asking not for this class, for Tableau class, as I need to show the installation process of Tableau today. Please log in with laptop only for that session as well. Okay.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah,
Thanks, ma'am.
you're welcome. All right. So on the previous day, we were discussing about group by clause concept, right? And so basically, previously I said on Monday we will discuss joins examples, right? But uh, let me go with the flow. Next, today I will discuss with the having clause because group by clause and having clause is related to each other. First, I will finish having clause today, and after that, let's discuss about the joins examples. Okay. All right. So as we discussed already, we saw what is a group by clause. So basically, whenever we are dealing with the, I can say, group of data, or you know, whenever we are basically want to, we are discussing about the, whenever we are fetching about the summarized data, that we will use group by clauses. Okay, we will use group by clause along with the aggregate functions only. So basically, according to our requirements, what we will do based on any specific column, okay, based on any specific column, maybe any of the column name, if we want to find the cumulative, cumulative kind of data, we will use group by clause. We will use aggregate functions along with the group by clause. As you all see, as we all know, these are all the aggregate functions available. We will use these functions along with the group by clause, so that we can able to get some uh, you know cumulative answer, or a summarized data, right? So we already discussed some examples on the previous day, correct? Now let me discuss about having clause. Okay, generally we will use joins, group by clause and having clause together. Okay, so what is having clause in the sense? Till now, previously we saw, how to use where clause inside select command, right? We basically where clause, where what we will do, we will use to filter the data, correct? Whenever we are giving any conditions in the I mean, if there are any conditions, or if we want to filter the data according to that conditions, we will use where clause, right? So where clause, generally what it will happen, it will work at, where clause works at row level data. See, as we already saw what is where clause, what we did here, we just simply said, actually, I already activated my Maven Movies database. Okay, so it is already in activation, and so whenever we performed where clause, whenever we used where clause, what we did simply inside the select command, we used where clause and we returned some conditions according to the questions, right? Let me just execute this statement. We can able to see this kind of output over there. What happened in real time, whenever we will use where clause, it will check row level data. Okay, first it will go to the film table. Okay, so this is completely this is only the film table, the statement, like I displayed the complete details of the film table. So and this is this where my rating is equals to G. I just executed all these two syntaxes together. Okay, so in this output, this is basically all the complete details of my film table. Okay, whenever we give any where condition, okay, inside the select command, what it will do at the backend, it will works at row level. That means first it will go to the first row, it will check for this condition where rating is equals to G or not. Okay, suppose if a rating is the, here we have the rating column, right? It will check if it is G, it will display first row, or else it will skip this first row, it will go to the second row, and it is sees the condition as it is G, it will display the second row. You can see here, first we got second row here, right? Film ID 2, film ID 2, like that row level, row wise it will check the condition. Okay, it will go to the every row, it will check the condition whether the if the condition is satisfied, it will display the data. If condition not satisfied, it will skip that row and it will go to the next row, right? This is what it happens in the where clause, correct? Right, so I can say where clause works at row level data. Okay, what happens in the sense, in the row level data we will use where clause to filter the data, to write any, to give any conditions. Okay, but whenever if we want to filter the data, on the data which we are using group by clauses, or on the data which we are using aggregations, that way this where clause won't work, because it will check for the row level data only. Whenever we use group by clause, what it happens, according to one any column name, it first groups the data. And we are talking about aggregations also here. If we are talking about sum of amount, we are not we are not displaying amounts individually, we are just making some calculation for the amount, and we are displaying some summarized values over there, right? So at that time we will use having clause. Okay, if we want to filter data, if we want to filter the data on the data where we used aggregations, okay, or on the data which we used group by clause. If we want to filter the data on the data where we use aggregations, that means aggregate functions, or on the data which we use group by clause. Basically these two are the same. Whenever we are using group by clause, we will use aggregate functions. Okay, so by default, whenever we are using these aggregations or group by clauses, especially group by clauses, we need to use having clause to filter the data. Okay, where clause is not used on the group by clause data. On whatever data we used group by clause, by default we should use having clause. You need to remember like that blindly. Okay, am I clear what is having clause? Let's solve some examples, but am I clear, guys?
Yes, ma'am, clear.
Okay, so let's see some examples. Fetch the data of the customer whose amount or else total amount greater than 150. So this is my question. I'm asking that fetch the data of the customer. That means I want customer details. Okay, I want customer details. Which details? Customer details whose total amount is greater than 150. Okay. Basically, what are all the customers in this database? It means they are all the one who are buying the DVDs, or they are the one who got subscribed to any OTT platform, right? So, as they are making some payments to access this maybe films kind of thing, we have payment table here, we have amount here. Okay, so whoever customers made the total amount greater than 150, I want to fetch that, fetch that details. I want that customer name. Okay, customer names only, because yes, I want the customer details. Okay, so whose total amount greater than 150? So how to do that? In the payment table, I have customer ID and I have amount column. So basically, as I'm talking about total amount, I need to perform an aggregation here. Which function we will use for total amount? For
So sum of amount.
sum of amount. Perfect. Because whenever we use sum of amount, it will display the total addition of the complete amount, right? Total amount. So let me write it as first select sum of amount. Okay. Now I'm saying I want to find the total amount of the total amount, and I want to fetch the data of the customer, right? So what I will do, I have customer ID here, but I don't have customer complete details in this table. I have separate table called as customer table here. I have first name and last name in this customer table. Correct. To if I want to see the complete data of the customers, if I want to see the name of the customers who are making this total amount greater than 150, I need to perform joins between this customer table and payment table, right? So
Yes, ma'am.
I'll do that. From customer table, we have customer ID as common column between customer table and payment table, right? So I will simply write it as in a join from payment table as P maybe on C dot customer ID is equals to P dot customer
Ma'am,
ID.
inner join, not from.
Select from customer in a
Inner
join.
join
Oh,
payment,
sorry,
not from.
sorry. All right. In a join payment as P on customer C dot customer ID is equals to P dot customer ID. Thank you for that. I in a flow I wrote from over there, but in a join we need to join the another table name directly, right? So till here, this is the concept of joins. What we are doing here to get the details, as I need the customer details, I want customer first name and last name as well. So I am just joining the payment table and customer table here. This is what it is covered. This is the concept of joins only. We are just using the inner joins. right? Now I'm saying I want to see the fetch the customer whose total amount greater than 150. In the sense, from this question we need to understand, I need to know customer wise total amount, right? So to get that, what I will use, I will use group by clause. Okay, because in the definition itself, in the group by clause definition, we saw based on any specific column we will use group by clause. Based on any specific column we will use this aggregate functions to get the summarized values, right? So here, based on the customer, I want to fetch customer data. Based on that customer data column, I will use this aggregate function, that is sum function, because I want to know the total amount of the customer, right? So basically what I will do here, I will use group by. From the customer table I can use anything. I can use either first name and last name. As I said previous day, we can even use both the column names inside the group by. Okay, so we have first name and last name, and I'm grouping this table with this names. Okay, but I'm grouping this table by using these two columns, that is first name and last name. Okay, now my requirement is, okay, I group the data, but I need to find total amount greater than 150, right? That means I need to apply apply a condition, or I need to filter the data on this sum of amount, right? Then what I need to do, as I said, whenever we need to filter the data on the aggregate values, we need to use having clause, right? So what I will write, I will simply write it as having sum of amount, okay, greater than 150. Okay, here my question is total amount greater than 150, right? This is my condition here. I am keeping, I have some condition on this total amount only. Basically this total amount, to get this total amount we will use a sum aggregate function here. That means we are applying a filter on the aggregate function, so we are using having clause. Am I clear? Here what we need to do, we have one rule that whatever column names we'll use in group by, we need to use those column names in select command, so that we can understand the output easily, right? Let me execute this. Here I got first name and last name and their total amounts who paid greater than 150. Okay, this is how we will use. The concept here is, whenever we are we need to filter the data based on the aggregate functions, based on the data which we are based on, we need to apply the filters for the columns. Whenever we are using aggregate functions, we need to use having clause. Okay, I hope this is clear for you.
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Great. Now let me just let me give you another example. I will, for the same question, or the first the same data, I will ask you to fetch the top two customer details whose total amount greater than 150. So almost for the same query, I just added a little bit that I don't want to see the complete data. I want to see the customer details of only top two customer details who has purchased more amount greater than 150. See, till with this query we saw the customer names who has spent the amount greater than 150, right? But in that list, from that list I want to fetch only top two. So what we need to do to get the top two results, which we already discussed in the previous classes?
Order by DSC. Order by
Perfect, the order by
payment.
DSC. And
No, order by amount. Sorry, order by something. Amount
yes,
DESC limit to.
yes, limit to, that's what I'm waiting for, the limit. So basically, we will first, let me just copy this syntax. Okay, for the same question I am saying that I want to, instead of fetching the complete customer details, I want to see the top two details. So here simply I can write it as order by. Okay, I will simply write it as order by sum of amount, because I am saying that I want to fetch the customer details whose total amount greater than 150 only, right? For this condition only I want, I mean, along with this based on this condition only, I want to sort the data. So I will use order by sum of amount DESC. That is, as I said, top, we need to sort the data in the descending order, right? And to sort the data, we will use order by clause. Correct? We already discussed that previously. And as I want to see the top two records only, we need to use the limit clause here, and I need to use limit 2 here, right? See, in this syntax, how many we commands or clauses, how many concepts we used? We used select command, right? We used joins, we used group by clause, having clause, order by clause, limit clause, right? We used some functions also here. Are we covering all the concepts eventually? Whatever concepts we learned so far individually, at the end, whenever we are solving any real-time questions, we are using all those concepts in one query only, right? This is how we will work in real time. According to the requirements of our client, we will use. Am I clear? This one, let me execute this. See, I got only two names here, and the sum of amount is 221 and 216. This is my top amounts, like that. Am I clear, guys? You need to practice this, then only you can understand very clearly. If you have any doubts or confusions, you can ask me. I hope it is clear for you.
Divya?
Yes, Sweta, tell me.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
No problem.
Um,
Tell.
in the on the recordings videos, okay.
Mhm.
Um, both videos are same on 30th and 31st. They have uploaded the same video again and again. For 30th also the same. For
Okay.
31st also the same. Uh,
Oh, 30th in the sense Friday, right?
yeah,
So on
the
Friday,
same.
did they uploaded the Thursday's video or
No, I'm not sure about it, but one video is missing. I'm
oh,
not sure it's like it's Friday or Saturday one. It's a
okay.
little bit confused. Kindly check it out. Okay.
Actually, I really can't check all the videos. I'm so sorry. You only please, all the students, I'm telling to all the students, if you find, I'll try to check. But still, if
Just
you
last two videos, Divya, not all you need to check.
last
Just the
two videos, okay,
last two videos.
okay, I'll check them. I'll check them. Did
Okay.
anyone else find this one? Did did you guys observe like this?
It's in the drive, so I think it will be common for everyone,
Oh yes,
Divya.
yes.
Maybe.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
asking. If anyone tried to access those videos, did they find the same? All right, no problem. I'll once check and I'll let you know by tomorrow. Okay.
For both the videos, the duration is 53 minutes, 15 seconds.
Okay. Did you watch the content inside it? Is that the same?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Maybe there was any mistake. I'll just check and I'll ask them to
Upload.
sort it out. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So about the notes, I didn't uploaded any notes in the last day because I wanted to upload this what you call group by clause and having clause, both the concepts in one file. That's the reason I didn't uploaded this file on Friday or Saturday. Saturday we have I took this on Saturdays, right? So that's the reason I didn't upload it on Saturday file. I will once today I will upload this file. In this file only you can able to see group by clause and having clause, both the concepts in one file. Okay. And Sweta, I'll check and I'll just correct. I'll ask the admin people to correct it. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So Yeah, now let me just modify the above question, like what we did previously for the same question. We try to see why we try to fetch the customer details with this condition, right? And for the same question we tried to fetch for the only top two customer details, not the all the customer details, right? Now what I will do, modify the above query to show the data of active customers only. Okay, this point is very important in real time. Whenever we work and whenever we work with the databases, we can come across this word called as active. Because mostly if, for all the clients, we will maintain the databases, all of them will do some sort of businesses, right? According to their domain. Here we are talking about some OTT platforms or DVD rental stores database, right? So according to it, for suppose let's take the example of Netflix only. W- you know the customers here, in the sense we already got subscribed to that platform, but after subscription also some some customers will be actively use the content over there. Some customers won't use much, right? Not only this, in each and every domain, whenever we are talking about sales data or any business data, every business professional, every client will be eager to understand about their active customer details, who are using very frequently, and who are inactive over there, like that. So whenever you see like this, you need to understand, I just said you to understand what is active customers here. Okay, now for the same above question, I need to I want to show the data of active customers only. So how to do that? We have customer table here. If you can see, we have one column called as active. Let me just display the customer table.
Active is equal to true or something.
Yeah, almost. Just give me a second. Select star from customer table. If you can see here, we have one here. Okay, basically in almost 99% of the databases, in the active column we will use 1 or 0. If it is 1, it means the customers are active. If it is 0, something like boolean data only, true or false also will work. If it is 0, though those customers will be considered as inactive. Okay, like this, we will have one active column by default in the customers table in any database. Okay, now what we need to do is, I want to for the above, same for the above question only, I just want to see the active customers data only. So what we need to use here, this is basically I'm giving a condition only, right? If I am asking that I want to see only active customers details, that means that is one condition. I need to filter the data according to this active customers, like I need to apply there active is equals to 1. If I write active equals to 1, it will give me the active customers data. Okay, so so by default I need to give some condition that active is equals to 1 in this data. For that, which clause I will use, you need to tell me. In the same data, I need to understand about active customers, and my condition is active is equals to 1. But which clause do I need to use here?
Having.
Sorry, I didn't understood.
Having, right? Or where?
I
Having.
think having, Divya.
No, not having, where only we need to use.
Okay.
Where?
Yeah, because yes, Ramkoti, you are right. We need to use where. because the concept is, I'm saying we are giving the condition as active is equals to 1, but the column name we are using, with the table we are using customer table and the column name is active. Whenever we are applying the filters for aggregate function columns only, we will use having. Although we use group by clause, although we use having clause, in the same syntax we can use where clause also. But for what columns? On the non-aggregate, see, we will, for the normal columns, whenever we are applying any normal filters, normal conditions, we can use where clause. By default, blindly you need to remember, whenever we are using having clause, after having we will use aggregate function. We won't use here normal column name. Normally, I cannot use having amount greater than 150. If I had to use amount greater than 150, I will use where amount greater than 150. Whenever I'm using aggregate functions only, we need to use the having clause. That means whenever we are filtering on the aggregated data, then only we will use the having clause. But here it's not, my condition is only way, active is equals to 1 from the customers table. It is not, I'm not using any aggregate functions for this condition, right? So I will use where clause only. The reason why I'm saying is that we can use where clause whenever we are using group by clause and having clause also. Okay, let's see how I will write that. I'm copying the same syntax once again. Okay, so here my requirement or my condition is that for the same query, I want to show the data of active customers only. Right, as I said, I will use where active is equals to 1, but I need to use before group by clause only. Immediately after joining the table, or if suppose without joining also we can use group by clauses. If I had to join two tables, that is fine, or else directly we will use select, right? Suppose if I can get the data from only payment table, what I will write, I will write it as select sum of amount from payment table. After that I need to use where clause, after that I need to use group by clause, like that. Here I need to use where active is equals to 1. Okay, first what it will do, I am saying forget about this first name last name. Here basically I'm fetching the customer details. Here I am saying I want to display this names and sum of amount, right, from the customer table and payment table. That is, I'm joining these two tables based on the customer ID as common column. After that I'm saying I don't want all the customer details customers. I want where active is equals to 1. It will filter the data accordingly. After that, here we will get some output that uh, according to this condition we will get some output, right? On that output it will perform group by function, then having function, then like that. Okay, basically you need to remember, we can use where clause along with the group by clause in any select command, but the condition is, if we are using, if whenever we are using conditions or whenever we are filtering the data based on the aggregate column, only we will use having clause. For the normal conditions, for the normal columns, we can use where clause, but we need to use where clause before using group by clause only. Okay, now let me write it as let me give you the sequence, then you can understand. First and foremost thing, where clause is used before group by clause. Okay, and whenever we are writing any SQL statement, we need to follow one sequence. This is a really very important concept, very important thing. If you are a fresher, that is fine, but if you are applying for any SQL developer position, like 3+ or 4+ years of experience, in interviews also they will ask you about the sequence of writing the SQL statement or SQL query. Okay, we will have, by default we have one sequence, we need to follow that sequence only. Okay, sequence of writing select command. So we need to follow one sequence here. What is that? In the sense, first obviously we will write select, right, in the same way. Whenever we write the select command, first we will write select. Correct. Next we will write from which table we want to display the data we will write. Correct. So this is the syntax sequence. First we will use select. Next we will use either from or join. If we are using joins, we will use join, from and join. If we won't use join directly, we will use from. And we won't, and I mean this join will be skipped, right? If we use joins only, we will write use here like this. After from we will use join, right? After from giving one table name, we will use any join. Correct. If suppose if we are not using joins, this line will be skipped. Directly we will use from and we will go to the next line, right? So that's the reason basically we will write from or join in the in a sequence. Next we will use a where clause. Okay, next we will use group by clause. Next we will use having clause. Okay, next we will use order by clause. Next we will use limit. Okay, this is the sequence of writing any SQL command. We need to follow this sequence only. If you write having anywhere here, if you write where anywhere here, if you write group where like that, first if you write having and next if you write group by, it will throw us error. We need to follow this sequence only. And if suppose we are using distinct clause, we will use distinct here. Right? After writing select, we will use distinct. Or else I can write it below also. Distinct in the sense to display the unique values we will use distinct, right? If you observe the same order I followed in the above query, right? First select, then from, then join, then where clause, group by clause, having clause, order by clause, and limit. If you are trying for an experienced position for SQL developers or data analysts or any SQL interviews, if you are trying for any experienced professionals, they will ask this as an interview question, important interview question. Okay, this is the sequence of writing a select command. Okay, and we have one more sequence of executing select command. Okay, sequence of writing a select command is different. Sequence of executing select command is different. Okay, this is how we will write. Whenever we are writing, we will use this sequence. But after writing this executing, in the sense at the backend, SQL will follow one order to execute the syntax is what we wrote. This is not done by us. This is done by the SQL only at the backend. But to understand the concepts, we need to know this sequence also. Okay, whenever we write any SQL command like this, how SQL will execute, which order it will follow, in the sense that is we will call it as sequence of execution. Okay, so first it will use from or join. Okay, basically whenever we execute this statement, first it will check, it won't check the about the select. First it will check from which table we want to fetch the data. Okay, whether we are performing any joins or not, it will check from and join in the first step. Okay, next it will check for where clause. Next it will check for group by clause. After seeing, first it will check from which table we want to execute, we want to display the data. Did we applied some conditions or not? For that it will check for where clause. And after checking for where clause, it will see whether we are using group by clause also, whether we are trying to group the data. Okay, and then it will see whether we are using any having clause. Okay, first it will check from which table we want to display the data, whether we are using joins or not. Okay, from and joins. After that it will check whether, see, so in this way we can understand that if I execute this statement, what it happens, first it will check customer table, it will go to the customer table, first it will see about the from, and then it will check, okay, we are performing any join in a join. So first it joins this customer table and payment table. So it, we will get some output over there, right? After joining customer table and payment table, what it will do, it will check for the where condition. On that output, after what we get after joining the two tables, on that output it will perform where condition. It will take active is equals to one data. On that active is equals to one data, after performing where clause, we will get some sort of data, right? On that data it will perform group by clause. It will group the data according to this names, according to this columns. After that it will on that group of data it will perform this having clause. It will check for this condition. Okay, after that what it will do, it will use select clause, select command, sorry. After checking for all the conditions, basically it will display the data but not in the front end. In the back end, first it will apply select, it will try to use select. Okay, after selecting, after performing all these operations, still having, it will use select, it will by using select, basically the data will be displayed, right? If we don't use any of these clauses in the select statement, from up to here only our execution will be stopped. Basically we will get that data. But again, if we use some this remaining clauses also, what it will do, it will first use the select command at the back end. Okay, in that data, select in the sense it will display, after applying all these filters, after joining the data, after applying all these filters, it will first display the data. In that displayed data, it will use order by clause. Once we got output only, we need to sort the data, right? We need to sort the data on that output, correct? Suppose I after applying this all things, this all clauses, imagine I got some 120 rows here. So basically after applying all these things, SQL will apply select command, but it won't show that data for us, not in the front end. In the back end only it will apply select command. With this select command, just imagine SQL got some 120 rows. Okay, in this 120 rows only it will apply order by clause, right? There is no filtering the data again. For this data only it will, you know it will sort the data, maybe in the ascending order or maybe in the descending order, correct? If there is any distinct, if we are using distinct also, it will be done first. It will first check for the distinct clause. If the if almost every time we will use primary keys, so almost it will be unique only. But still, if there is something, if there is distinct, it will perform distinct. After that order by clause, after that limit. Basically for all these three clauses at the back, see, to perform these three clauses we need to use select only, right? For to get the output of distinct rows, we need to use select only. To sort the data we need to use select only. To limit the records we need to use select only, right? So once after performing the select at the backend, it will check for this three data, it will perform accordingly. Okay, so this is about the sequence of executing select command. Whenever we executed any select command in the front end, the order or the sequence what SQL will do in the backend is that one. First it will check from, it will check for which table we are from which table we want to fetch the data. It will check from, then joins, then it will apply all the filters, group by where, group by and having, then only it will apply select command, then order by, then limit. Okay, this sequence it will follow for the execution process. SQL will follow, not we. But again, this is the most important interview question. They will check whether we know this or not. They will ask the sequence of writing a select command, and they will ask sequence of executing the select command. We need to remember this, or we need to understand the concept what is happening. Okay, am I clear?
Yes, clear.
Great. So let's solve one more example on this. All the commands. Okay. Fetch the total amount collected by each city in India. See, whenever we are discussing all these commands, it will be revision for you for joins also, right? Because we will use all these clauses together. You need to be perfect with all these things. If I said, from the starting day one, I'm saying that joins are very important, right? If I say joins is important, I mean to say where clause is important, group by clause is important, having clause is important, order by clause is important, and limit is important. Because we will use all these things together. According to the requirement, we will use. If not required, we won't use, but we will use all this together. Right? Don't feel like I'm saying that all the concepts are important, but this is how it happens. Correct?
So, ma'am, in this we need to join city and payment.
Yes, we need to join city and payment, but we will see how we can able to join. Okay. I said fetch the total amount collected by each city in India. In India, in the sense, again, we are having country table here. In this only, we will have the India details, correct? This country name, we have column name as country. Let me fetch the all the tables very quickly. Select start from country. We will have country names in it, right? For the country column name, we have all the country names. Obviously, we will have India also over here somewhere. See, India. Okay. Now, I want to know all the city details for each city in India. So let me see city columns here. In the city table, I have city ID, city, country ID, last update. Okay. Now I'm saying I want to fetch the total amount collected by each city. I mean total amount. Basically, in which table we have amount? We have payment table. In payment table, we have amount. So by default, what we understood, we need to join basically the payment table, city table, and country table. But let's see whether we can do that or not. In payment table, do we had a city ID or country ID? We don't. What we have? We have customer ID, staff ID, rental ID. Okay. We need to relate from by choosing which column here, or by choosing, I mean, by joining from which table, we can relate the tables up to city table and country table. Okay, let's see about staff ID column. I mean, we have staff ID column here and we have staff table here. In this staff ID also, we have address ID, or else, where is that payment table? We have directly customer ID here. Okay, we have customer table here. In the customer table also, we have customer ID, right? So now we need to relate it with the customer ID. Let me check directly city ID, city table here. In the city table, we have city ID, country ID. Let me check country table.
I think 4 5 joins it will take.
Yeah, we need to do actually. We have address table. In the address table, we have city ID. Okay. In the customer table, we have address ID. So basically what we need to do, we need to first join payment table with customer table here by using customer ID as common column. We have payment table, right? In the payment table, we have customer ID. In the customer table, we have customer ID, right? As you can also see in customer table, we have address ID. So we will join address table. Next, with the customer, we will join address table by using address ID as a common column. Correct? Let's see about address table data once. In the address table, directly we are having city ID. So we can join with city table. Next, we need to join with country table. We need to perform joins for this many tables. Almost we are joining 5 tables. Okay, like
Ma'am, in
that.
real
According.
time,
Mhm.
ma'am, in real time, with how many tables you have joined? I mean, in your experience?
In real time, so far 8 tables, as I remember.
Okay.
8 tables, yeah. Not more than that. I didn't used so far more than 8 tables. It again depends on the projects. Sometimes, if that depends on the project we are working in, depend on the database they are maintaining. We can also, for it can limit up to 3 tables or 4 tables also, like that.
Okay.
So basically, according to the client's requirement over there, whatever they are asking, we need to understand the tables simply by actually how it will work in real time. We will work with any client. We will all, like, in this class, as we are using this Netflix database, we got used to the tables. We almost know, with some practice you can also get to know in which tables, at least we have what kind of data. In the same way, in real time also, we will work with only one database as we work with only one client. Almost we will get used to that data. We will have with some, after some days only, not in the initial days maybe. Whenever any new project comes, if we work for some days, we will get used to that data and we will understand what kind of tables are present in that database, right? So according to the question or according to the client's requirement, we will just relate that tables. And first we will get some idea like this. We need to do like this. First, I what for what tables I need to perform joins. After that, we need to apply this conditions over there, right? Now we need to join all these tables. Let's do that. Okay, select star from first payment table, right? Now join customer table as C on what is the common column? Customer ID, right? Payment table customer ID, and customer table we have customer ID. So I need to write it as P dot customer ID is equals to C dot customer ID. Okay. Now I already joined customer table. So in customer table, I have address ID. I need to join with the address table. So directly I will write it as inner join address table AD. I will write it as AD on C dot address ID. We need to make sure we need to write correct spellings also. Okay. C dot customer ID is equals to AD dot address ID. Sorry, C dot address ID is equals to AD dot address ID. Okay, so I joined address table also. Okay, next in this address table we are having city ID. We need to join with city table, correct? So on AD dot city ID is equals to, I didn't used inner join here, inner join city as, let me write it as CT. Okay, so on AD dot city ID is equals to CT dot city ID, right? Correct. So in city, I got up to, I connected up to city table. In my question, I want to know total amount collected by each city, but again in India. There is one more condition. So obviously I need to join country table also here, right?
Yes,
So we have
country ID.
country table. We have a common column as country ID, right? I will say in a join country, yeah,
Yeah.
country table as C on
Ma'am,
ct dot,
customer we have taken as C.
yeah, thank you for remembering.
CO we
Cn,
can take.
yeah,
CO.
co also we can take. We need to be cautious also. We need to check previous alias names also. Okay, so I'm seeing ct dot country id is equals to co dot country id, right? With city table, next country table. Okay, till here we joined all the tables. How many tables did we join? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tables we joined here, right? Now let's see about our requirement or our question. I'm saying I want to fetch the total amount collected by each city in India. So what I need to do here, each city in the sense, obviously I need to group the data based on the city table, city data, right? Based on the city name I can say. But I'm giving the condition as in India. I want in India city table. So just tell me now, whenever, as I already said you the execution sequence, whenever it sees this question, which clause it we will use first?
Where,
With
ma'am?
where we will give this condition as India. After filtering India data only, see, by joining all these tables we will get all the countries data, right? But in question we are saying only in India data. That's the reason I can say we will use where clause first. It will filter the data depending on, it will get only India's data. After executing where clause only, once we got India data only, it will apply, it will execute group by clause, correct?
Yes.
So I will write it as where country is equals to India, right? Next I will write it as group by, because I want city wise data. I want collected amount, total amount collected by each city in India, right? That's the reason I will use group by city, correct? I'm grouping the data based on the city. Here again, what is my question? Where is it question? I want to fetch the total amount. So obviously we need to
Sum of amount.
perform sum of amount, right? Sum of amount. But I'm not mentioning any condition here. I'm saying I want to fetch the total amount collected by each city in India. As there is no other conditions based on this total amount, I won't use having clause in this query, right? Our condition is only limited to the India, the country table, not the aggregated column, correct? So we won't use having clause here. We used the given condition where clause we used. After using where clause only, we will write the group by clause, correct? And what we need to do, as we used city table in the group by clause, to
That's
for a
it.
better understanding we need to write city here. We can have the city as a column name. In that we'll have all the what you call city names. So I'm writing alias name also. I need to use, I will write ct dot city. Okay, now I will execute this one. See, I got the data city wise. You can see this first I got city column and sum of amount, right? I wrote only two columns inside the select command, so it displayed two columns, city wise total amount. You can observe this is all the settings belongs to the India only. Okay, so this is how we will work. Is it clear? Let me quickly, yeah, any doubts?
No, ma'am. Please.
Okay. For the same question, if I say I want to fetch the above query for all cities in all countries, what we will do? I don't want only India, I want all countries. Then what I will do? Tell me. Here, as I mentioned, particularly in from India, I mean, I
Where
want,
clause remove.
yeah, we will remove where clause. And we will group by, we will use group by along with the city and country also, because we want country wise, city wise data. Like, from India, how many cities? From, like whatever country is there. From America, how many cities? Like that. So we need to use group by In group by we need to use country and city. I'm copying everything here. Okay, and I'm saying I want all the cities in all the countries. So obviously, to get the data, I need to perform the same joins here. After performing joins for every country, what I will do, I will remove this where clause because I want all the countries data. But here I will use group by country, city, comma, country. Okay. Or else first, let me use country, comma, city will be, it's first it will group by on the basis of country. For each country wise, it will give city wise data. Okay. And in the select also, I can write along with the city, I need to write country also, right? From the country table, I have country name here. Okay. Let me execute this. Without writing alias name for country also, it's okay because country is not a common column in any table, right? So like this, I will get the data. Country wise, city wise, total amount. If you observe here, Algeria, we are getting many tens. For this country, we have this many cities, right? So like that, country wise, city wise, total amount. Like that, it will happen. If you can see in India also, many times countries repeating because we have that many cities over here. For each and every country, it is showing every city wise date. Okay. I hope this is clear for you. And with this, we are done with our concepts, group by clause and having clause. If it is clear, I will end this session for now. If you have any doubts, please ask me. Basically, try to practice this. You can get it. Okay. The most important thing you need to remember is the order of writing a query. Okay. This order only we need to write. We can use where condition and group by clause. I mean, sorry, where clause, group by clause, and having clause all together also in one query. Whenever we are using where clause, we need to use, before using group by clause only. Okay. Am I clear? If it is clear, let's meet in tomorrow's class. Let's start regular expressions concept. That is also again important concept. Okay. All right, guys. I'm ending the session now. I have another class. Okay. Guys, please respond.
Thank you, Divya.
You're welcome. Yeah. Bye.